everyone. My name is Richard Pasick. I'm with CNA Financial Group, and I have been here since 1983. Back in 1983, when I started working in this business, I worked predominantly with baby boomers who were in their mid-20s, didn't have a lot of money, but I had a lot of future growth with them. And as I progressed in business, I continued working with them. And now I'm 68 years old, and I pretty much work mostly with baby boomers just at the doorstep of retirement who are facing multiple decisions, and I help them guide them through. The one thing I learned a lot about was how Social Security system works and the decisions that have to be made right at retirement. So the plan we're going to go through is what's called what baby boomers need to know about retirement income. So the first thing I'd like to say, I see many times people making decisions that are just not to their best interest. They listen to their plumber, their friend, somebody at the gym or whatever, and they get decisions based on perhaps what was that person's best interest, but it may not apply to them. So things to know about Social Security. The first thing is there are many claiming options in the hundreds, different options between a husband and a spouse. Decisions have far-reaching consequences, which impacts both the spouses, husband and wives, both survivors, and the person that passes away as well. The system is not bankrupt. It's not a Ponzi scheme. There's a lot of negativity out there right now, but I believe Social Security is strong. Benefits likely helped. I'm sure we know some family members that also collected Social Security at one point or another. And as I said, your friends, the plumber, they're not experts in Social Security. So the big question is, will Social Security be there for me? How much can I expect to receive when I retire? When should I apply for Social Security benefits? Age 62, age 65, age 67, 70? I don't know. There's so many decisions. How can I maximize my benefits? That's the main thing. I want to get as much money as possible out of the Social Security system for as long as I have an enjoyable life expectancy. And last question is very important. Will Social Security be enough for me to live on? So we're going to understand the true value of Social Security and how the system works. So the first big question, will it be there for me? So in the last year we have, in 2022, the Social Security system had $2.8 trillion in surplus. The revenue coming in was about 1.3 trillion. The expenditures, the expenses going out to run the system, 1.39 trillion, which left us with a little less than a $41 billion negative. So the system right now is starting to go down. At the end of 2023, there were about $2.78 trillion in surplus. So these numbers change each year, but it's projected that in the year 2035, there will be enough Social Security assets surplus to pay about 83% of benefits. So the benefits will go down if nothing is done between now and 2035. We believe that there will be some changes that will continue the Social Security system. Now, with that said, the first thing is, so what would it take to restore the Social Security system? The first thing is to increase the Social Security tax rate or the tax base rate. Right now, a person pays FICA taxes on the Social Security side, 6.65% on $176,100 in 2025. They can raise that number. Could be 200,000, could be 250,000, could be double that. Each year it does go up, but if they raise it dramatically, of course, they'll collect a lot more Social Security FICA taxes, and it'll feed the system. It'll fix that one issue. You can raise the normal retirement age. Currently, the age of full retirement age is about age 67, depending on what year you're born right now. And that could raise maybe to 68, 69, 70. We can lower future benefits. That's not too popular, but it's possible. So we, instead of somebody getting $4,000, we make it $3,800. That will not go over too well, but it's a possibility. And a big one that costs a lot of money is reduce the cost of living, the COLA benefits. It's the increase with cost of living. So the bottom line for baby boomers, I truly believe that Social Security system will be intact. So we want to take a clearer picture of how Social Security works. So it's an inflation-protected, guaranteed income stream to last as long as you live. That's how it's designed. You put money in every month when you're working. They look at your earnings history and they calculate how much benefits you're going to receive, and you're going to receive that money, compound it with that cost of living for as long as you live, which could result in a huge number. So just for example, assuming a $2,000 monthly benefit, the 10 years in the future, that 10 years will accumulate $262,000. 20 years, $583,000. If you happen to live 30 years into retirement, it's very close to $1 million coming in at $973,000. That's only assuming a 2% cost of living. Now, if inflation is higher, those numbers will be dramatically higher. So the impact on the $2,000, for example, the $2,000 with no inflation will continue to be $2,000. In 10 years, with that, assuming that 2% cost of living, it'll turn to about $3,400. 20 years out, that same $2,000 increases to about $2,900. And again, 30 years, it increases to about $3,600. Now, that's somebody, let's say they collected at age 67. They're 97 years old. There are many people that break 100 now. And a person with a healthy 67-year-old has a good chance to get close to age 90. So how much can a person receive? How much are their benefits? So the first thing, as I said previously, it's based over your earnings history. Social Security Administration will look at your earnings history and the age you start to receive benefits, the two main factors. The higher the income, the more your benefits. The higher your age before you receive retirement benefits, the higher your benefits. So here's how the calculation works. At age 62, so those age 62 or more, if you did not get your assumed benefit on the socialsecurity.gov website, I advise you to do that. At age 62, Social Security Administration will look at your earnings history. They'll tally it up and they'll index it for inflation. What I mean by that is, for example, if you're earning $100,000 today and you're averaged $100,000, let's assume that $100,000 in the past, just say 20 years ago, may have looked like $50,000. Extrapolated out at a 2% inflation, may be close to the $100,000. So Social Security will look at that as a level $100,000 for that 20-year period. They'll look at your highest, not the last, the highest 35 years of earning history, and they'll average that out. Adjusted income monthly earnings. And it's divided by what's referred to as 3 bend points. These bend points determine how much your actual PIA is at retirement or primary insurance amount. And after you're receiving benefits for more than 1 year, then they add the cost of living. So how the formula works is this, and I hear this often. So a person who earns we're looking at the example, $176,000 today, extrapolate it out with inflation. So 20 years ago, it might have been 80,000, and 30 years ago, it might have been 50,000 to equal the same full benefit. They're fully insured. They're getting a maximum benefit, which is $4,020. That's the most any one person could collect today. So what they do is they kind of benefit the lower income person a bit higher than the higher income person. That was the maximum person. So if you made $500,000, it doesn't matter. You do not get any more. You just get that $4,020 in this example. So in this formula, they can look at these 3 bend points, and the first $1,200 per month, about $15,000, they're going to replace 90% of that income with a benefit, or give $1,100 per month, about $13,000 per year. So if one person, 2 people, same side, one made 170 something thousand per year on average, again, index for inflation, and one made about 15,000. This one gets 1,100 a month, and this one's 4,000, like 30%, which is, this one made quite a bit more than 10 times, actually. The next $6,100 per month, about $73,000, the replacement value now is 32%. The first 13,000, about 15,000 rather, is 90%. The next 70,000 is about 32%. The remaining 70,000, 6,200 a month times 12, is replaced only at 15%. So theoretically, if one person made, using that maximum 176,000, and one person made about half that, just say $80,000, it appears this one paid half the Social Security taxes, this one, that is correct, but the lower income earner will receive 85% of the higher income earner's Social Security benefit. So very close benefits. People don't quite get that, but that's how the math works. So again, the maximum benefit today is about $4,020. Now in the future, we're going to apply Social Security or cost of living to these benefits, and those benefits will go up. So that's good to know, but I think I'm going to collect at age 62. Many people say that. I hear this on a constant basis. Why would I wait until age 70? I can collect anywhere from between age 62 and age 70, assuming I'm not disabled. The longer I wait, the higher my benefits. The earlier I collect, the less the benefits would be compared to another age. So if we claim early, and early is your full retirement age, your FRA, depending on what year you are, is probably most likely age 67 for most viewers. If you collect before age 67, we're not saying it's a bad thing, but if you do, your benefits are reduced by about 8% per year beforehand. So when should I apply? A lot of things to consider. Well, first thing is, how healthy am I? Before I referenced enjoyable life expectancy, not life expectancy. That's a different thing. I always say, I'm 68, my next 10 years are my best 10 years. There's no way it's not going to be. Life expectancy could be a lot longer on somebody than their 10 years, of course, but they may be only able to enjoy, go places, whatever, do things they want to do, have fun more in the first 10 years of retirement than latter. The need for income. I need income. I can't wait until age 67. Different story. Whether or not I plan to work. I had a conversation yesterday with a woman, 65 years old, said I could work part-time as long as I want. I enjoy it. I'm gonna work 2-3 days a week. That's great. And they may not take Social Security until at that point. So we're gonna see how that works. Survivor benefits, survivor needs. If you have a spouse that did not work or did not earn much at all, them collecting part of your full benefit when you survive, that's how it would work, is very important, or half of your benefit when he or she retires. So the bottom line is, or big question, will Social Security be enough to live on for a lifetime? And the answer is probably not. You need other things, of course. So here's how that FRA, the full retirement age benefit, works. If you're born before age 54, most likely you're already on Social Security. Age 66 is the benefit. Age 50 is born in 1955 to 1959. There's a scale changing by 2 months every year. For example, age 58 is 66 and 8 months, and 1960, it's age 67 and so forth. So if your full retirement age, your FRA was age 67, the column to the right, and you elect to take benefits as early as age 62, your benefits are reduced to 70% of what it would have been if you waited until full retirement age. If you wait until age 63, it's 75% and so on. So if you wait until the full retirement age 67, it's 100% of your benefit. But what happens if I wait all the way until age 70 or somewhere in between? Using that column to the right with the full retirement age of age 67, each year the benefits increase by about 8%. From age 66 to 67 rather, is a reduction there. So 67 to 70 is 108%, 116%, and 124%. That's not compounded, but the cost of living is on top of that. So keep in mind, we have about a 2% assumed cost of living. That's going to add on top of that 4 years. That's 8%, but that gets compounded as well. So it's probably around 135% more at age 70 than age 67, somewhere around there. If you have not already, I suggest you go on socialsecurity.gov, create an account, get your estimate numbers. That's very important. So why delaying is very important, just to look at how your benefits will increase. So for example, if your full retirement age was age 67, that's second column, and you choose to receive benefits, you're going to get 70% of your PIA, your primary insurance amount, your full benefit amount at age 67. If you wait, you get 124%. Again, not counting any of the COLAs. If you add the COLA of 2%, your benefits, for example, would be so much higher. For example, if you chose age 62, you're going to get about 2,100. If you wait to age 67, it's about $3,700. And with the cost of living, it's going to be $4,300, the bottom right of the last column. So waiting really magnifies that cost of living. Very important. So delaying benefits, just looking at another point of that same kind of slide, is if you happen to live to age 100 and you claim at age 62, you're going to get whatever that number was, 2,200, I believe. But your benefit at age 100 would be 4,400. But if you wait to age 70, your benefit at age 70 is 4,300 off the top and growing to almost $8,000 at age 100. A huge increase. Again, we got the 8% guaranteed plus the cost of living increase on a higher number. So it really snowballs up. So how can I maximize my benefits? Well, the first thing is you should study what Social Security has on you, the information. You see if there's any missing years, any inaccurate numbers. It could happen. Social Security benefits are not perfect. Their system is not perfect, as we know, and we want to make sure they're crediting us with the right income that we paid in taxes into. How can we increase it? Well, we can work longer. We can try to get another job part-time if we wanted to. Just improve it by working at least until full retirement age. We want people to take it at least full retirement age. We want to apply for it at the optimal time. But for you, you may be different than me and somebody else. We don't know. For example, so let's assume you're 62, you're single, you have no money, you're out of work because you can't find a job, or you just hate it where you're working, you wanted to retire, you don't have any other money, and you call me up and say, Rich, I'm 62, I'm not working anymore, I'm no way I'm working anywhere ever again. Should I take my Social Security? Well, yes, you need the income, take it. But if you had other things involved in you, and for example, you have money here, an IRA, you have non-IRA, you have a spouse working, you may work again. You have other things going on, a pension coming in. Then we're going to look at other factors like your life expectancy, your enjoyable life expectancy, your spouse's life expectancy, and then help you make a decision that's best for you. That's the variables. We don't know all those things on it. There's no one answer, that's for sure. Are Social Security benefits tax-free? Not yet. So what happens is the first thing, two ways Social Security is sort of taxed or reduced. If you choose to receive Social Security benefits before your full retirement age, so your retirement age is age 67 and you're 62 or 64 or whatever, you want to choose to receive benefits. And you say, well, I'm going to still work. I have a job. I have an opportunity to go work in my friend's business. Great. How much you can earn? Maybe 40,000 a year, whatever. The Social Security benefit you're receiving will be reduced $1 for every $2 earned above $23,400. So in that case, you're earning even $33,000. That's $10,000. That's a $5,000 per annual reduction in Social Security benefits, about $400 per month. If it was double that, it'd be $800 a month. So there's a point that we really don't want you taking benefits early if you're going to continue to work. It's very important. And keep this in mind, that they don't keep your money. Yes, it feeds the Social Security tax system. Yes, okay, it goes into pay future benefits. But at your full retirement age, your benefits are recalculated and you will get that bump up for that continuing working. You're adding to the system. Keep that in mind. So the benefits are fully recaptured on a monthly basis for your life based on your age, your full retirement age, or in my example, age 67. So we say, don't ever let the annual earnings test. This is the annual earnings test that will reduce your benefits, determine if you're going to work or not. Don't let it interfere. If you have an opportunity to do something you really enjoy, you're going to really like working here, then do it. Go get a job. Suspend your Social Security benefits. Let them down to zero. Who cares? You're going to get it back at full retirement age. They're not going to keep your money. And the best way to avoid the earnings test, and we do advise this all the time, is really wait until your full retirement age. Then you can make an unlimited income. You can work anywhere you want, earn $1 million a year. We don't care. Social Security doesn't care. You will get the full benefits. The taxation of Social Security, in addition to the reduction if you're earning. This is a rule that went back to 1993, believe it or not, 30 years ago, that they came up with these numbers to determine how much of your Social Security benefit is going to be taxable. Is it 100% taxable? Is it 50% taxable? Is it zero taxable? Some of it may be taxable depending on your earned income. So for example, if you're married filing jointly and your provisional income, now what is provisional income? Provisional income is your adjusted gross income, so your earned income, your interest on all your money, dividends on all your money, 1/2 of your Social Security benefit that you're collecting, and your tax-exempt income. That is added into this calculation to determine your provisional income. If you and your spouse earn $32,000 or less, including all that, all your Social Security benefits are 100% tax-free. If your earnings, provisional earnings, are between $32,000 and $44,000, then 50% of your Social Security benefit will be subject to taxation at your bracket. If your earnings, provisional earnings, are $44,000 or more, then 85% of your Social Security will be subject to taxation at your bracket. If you're single, those numbers are a little different. So how do we minimize our taxes on Social Security? That's really the thing. The first thing is reduce other taxable income, maybe more deferred income, tax-free income, but not muni bonds. That's not going to work. Anticipate your IRA RMDs, your required minimum distributions. That's going to start at age 73. That's going to impact for sure your taxation. Convert some traditional IRAs to Roth IRAs before age 73. Maybe before you start collecting Social Security. We'll see what your tax bracket is. Delay Social Security at least until full retirement age, possibly until age 70. The years, if you're working elsewhere, earning a lot of money elsewhere, dividends and interest and so on, then we don't want to add to your taxation. So we can defer that as long as possible in some cases. Reduce expenses, pay down debt, adopt your lifestyle to to figure out what you're going to receive from Social Security and other areas of income so you can live long, comfortable retirement lifestyle. And continue to manage your taxes throughout lifetime, not just up to lifetime. Ways to minimize your taxes on Social Security benefits. The first thing is you can reduce your income with tax advantage investments, but not muni bonds. There are certain investments that will give you tax-free income and will not increase your taxation of your Social Security benefits, such as Roth IRAs, HSA distributions, life insurance distributions. That's about the three things. Anticipate IRA RMDs, your required minimum distributions. They will put you in a higher tax bracket. Sometimes getting them out of the way or doing some conversions before you start collecting Social Security could be vital, could put you in a better position later on. Don't just wait until age 73. Convert some traditional IRAs to Roths, as I said, all along the way. Even after age 73, you can still do that. Delay taking Social Security reduces your number of years you're going to collect benefits. Sure, higher benefits, less years, because of course your life expectancy is a little less if you take it at age 70 and compared to age, let's just say age 65. But you have higher benefits will give you more benefits, but a little less years of that income. Reduce expenses, pay down debt, adopt the lifestyle of not spending everything you're going to receive. You still have to figure out inflation and the possibility of living a long life expectancy. Continue to manage your taxes throughout retirement. So the big question is when to apply for Social Security benefits. If you just remember this, if you apply early, your benefits are lower, you get them earlier, but they stay lower for life. And that could be an issue. The cost of living will magnify those benefits starting early less than if you waited and had a higher benefit. The cost of living is huge. It will double your potential cumulative benefit. Your benefit may be reduced, maybe taxed by Medicare premiums. That's going to impact everybody for sure. Staying under your group plan may impact and have a lower, at least Medicare premium. Don't let the earnings test discourage you from working. If you have the opportunity to work, just work, enjoy. If you like it and enjoy, delay your Social Security benefits. Why not? You're going to get bigger benefits. You're not going to get hurt. Delaying benefits may give surviving spouse more benefits. So I hear this sometimes, well, I'm not going to live that long. I should take it at age 62. I get that. And sometimes that's the best decision. We're not going to steer that person wrong. We want to look at that on a case-by-case basis. For couples, husband and wife, we want to make sure we maximize the higher earners benefit first. That's important. So for example, we have John, his PIA in this example is $2,000. And Jane's PIA, primary insurance amount, is to $800. So if a Jane applies at full retirement age, her benefit will be 50% of John's, or $1,000. So if John takes, assuming they're the same age right now, John hits age 67, he takes 2,000, born the same day, she can get 1,000, a total of $3,000 per month for life. When John dies, assume John dies first, Jane's benefit gets stepped up to the highest one, or she'll receive the $2,000 plus the cost of livings. So in order for a spouse to receive 50% of the primary earner's benefit, he or she must apply for benefits. They cannot just take one. My wife just can't take 1/2 of mine. I must apply first. The spouse collecting the spousal benefit off the husband or the wife, the spouse must be at least age 62, and the benefits are full at full retirement age. So a spousal benefit does not increase. There are no delayed benefits for a spouse to wait past, in my example, age 67. There is no benefit to wait. We want to coordinate the spousal benefits. So there's a situation now where the lower income earner spouse is more than 50% of the higher income. So for example, my benefit's 2,000, my wife's is 1,300. Different story. To get the maximum benefit, assuming we're both healthy now, is we should both wait until age 70. That will produce the highest benefit for both of us, assuming a long life expectancy. So where the lower earning spouse PIA is less than 50%, or the higher of the higher earning spouse, lower earning spouse should claim early. So the 2,000 example and the 800, he or she should collect early. Or the 2,000 example and whatever, $1,300 example, we should both wait until age 70. That will produce the highest benefits over a long period of time. Now, of course, we're assuming a long-term period of time. We don't know what your life expectancy is and your enjoyable life expectancy. So what we do for our clients is if anybody ever is interested, contact your advisor or contact me directly, is we would need to see your full retirement age benefits along with, of course, your date of birth and a few other information. And we would extrapolate out, and we would look at a chart that we would put together that would clearly show how waiting or not waiting would produce a higher benefit. We would look at that where they intersect. Of course, taking age benefits at age 62 and looking at age 65 will always produce more benefits than waiting until age 67 or 70. Because age 67, I didn't collect anything. Of course, I took it 62, I received more money. But where does it break even? And we close the break even point. It's usually around age 80 or 81, depending on what your benefits are, what age you started, and so on. So we want to wait, look at that and then determine you're going to be healthy then. If you think you are, then possibly waiting is very important. Sometimes we meet widows, widowers, and or people that are divorced. And how does that impact their Social Security? Well, it's very important. If you're a widower, widowed, or divorced, you may be eligible for survivor benefits, divorced spouse benefits, survivor benefits, or just divorced spouse benefits in general. They can and will increase your benefits if you know these rules. So one of the factors are, number one, survivor benefits will depend on this: the age at which the deceased spouse originally claimed his or her benefits. If I took my benefit at age 62 and my spouse is, let's say, a little younger, and I died and she wants to collect at age 62, how much survivor benefit would she collect? I got penalized for taking mine at age 62. She will be penalized, but not as much as me. So the benefit is a little less. So if I waited until full retirement age, if I took mine early and I died, she can collect hers as early as age 60 as a survivor and collect 82.5% of that benefit. If she waits until full retirement age, she'll collect 100%. And it does not pay to wait after age 67 or full retirement age. Second key factor, the age at which the widow claims the benefits. As I said, so for example, I die, I'm 68, my wife's 63, and she collects now, she will get a reduced benefit. She is not age 67. If she waits until age 67, she will receive full benefits, depending on what age she starts to receive. If the spouse dies when both are receiving benefits, the bottom line is the survivor will receive the maximum benefit, the higher of the two. Doesn't matter who's higher, the other spouse will receive the maximum benefit of those two. So for example, Joe and Julie are married. Both are over full retirement age, so we don't have to worry about reduced benefits. Joe's benefit is $3,600. Julie's is $1,800. Joe dies. Now Julie's $1,800 is stepped up until up to the $3,600, the maximum. So another example of delaying benefits, how the spouse benefits will increase. Joe's PIA, his primary insurance amount at age 67 is $3,600. He elects to wait until age 70, that 124% of the original 3,600 or 4464, again, without cost of living. Joe dies an hour later. He waited, oh man, what a bummer. Oh, it doesn't matter. Julie's benefit will be 4464 as long as she's at least full retirement age, not the $3,600. The rules for survivor benefits are the couple must have been married at least 9 months at the date of death, unless there was an accident. The survivor must be at least 60 years old. They will receive reduced benefits. If they are disabled, they can collect survivor benefits as early as age 50. They can collect the full retirement benefits at full retirement age. They're age 67, they get the full benefit. Survivor benefits are not available if widow remarries before age 60, okay, unless that marriage ends. So the marriage could end and that ex-spouse could die. Divorced spouse benefits, in order to be able to collect off of a divorced spouse, you must have been married at least 10 years to be able to collect. So the divorced spouse benefits, the marriage assumed lasts 10 years. The person received divorced spouse benefits is currently unmarried. So you cannot get remarried if you're not a widow of your ex-spouse. The ex-spouse has to be at least age 62. The divorce had to be at least 2 years ago. At your full retirement age, you are eligible to collect part of that benefit, so long as that person at least applied for Social Security benefits. And the cool thing is, more than one ex-spouse, that person can have 3 ex-wives. It doesn't matter. Each one could be eligible for a survivor benefit or reduced benefit if they're going to collect if that person did not die yet. Benefits paid to one spouse do not affect those paid to the worker. Doesn't affect him in this example. His current spouse, it doesn't matter, any other of the ex-spouses. Everybody can receive benefits. That's the reason why we're going backwards in assets there. Divorced spouse benefits stop upon remarriage. So if the person gets remarried, those divorced spouse benefits stop or collect unless, wait, hold on, start there again. Sorry, I'm going to go through this slide again. So the rules for divorced spouse benefits, the cool thing is more than one ex-spouse can receive the benefits from the same worker's records. Benefits paid to one spouse do not affect those paid to the worker, the current spouse, or any of the ex-spouses. So for example, a woman's married, she has a husband, got divorced, he had two ex-wives as well, and he's currently remarried. His current wife can get the benefits, his other two ex-wives can get the benefits, and this wife can get the benefits, believe it or not. And they all ring the bell, the winter bell. If he passes away, they all get the full benefits. This is one reason why the Social Security Administration system is going down in value as far as the assets. Very important. So complicated. There are so many things to learn and understand about Social Security benefits. And I believe people are making just not the right decisions. They don't look at everything going on in their life financially. Their other assets, the life expectancy, how healthy they are, their spouse's earnings, their pension, their other money. Again, if there's nothing else involved, it's an easy decision. Just collect. But when you have all those other variables, they all enter into the mix, and then it becomes very complicated. So some key insights. Social Security offers, again, an inflation-protected lifetime guaranteed income. You cannot outlive. It's like a pension. It is great. It includes survivor benefits. Great. Wow. Your monthly earnings will be reduced if you claim early. You're going to get less. You claim before your full retirement age, you're going to get less. If you earn income before and you claim before full retirement age, you will get less. You'll get benefits reduced. Couples should always maximize the higher earnings benefit for the surviving spouse. We want to take care of the lower earning spouse's benefit. That's important as far as survivor and legacy benefits. If you're widowed, divorced, you may be eligible for some benefits from your ex-spouse. We can look into that. I believe everyone needs to really analyze their Social Security benefits, their options intensely. It's such a big decision. And it's a decision you're making. Say you're age 65, you're looking possibility to age 90 or 95. It's a 20, 25, 30-year decision, possibly longer. Joint life expectancies, they're always longer than just a single person. That's a big, long window to make the correct decision. And the benefit differences are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars difference from one option to another. Hundreds of thousands. We see this up to about 200,000 per person. Sometimes 400,000 lower for higher earners to take at age 62 rather than those higher earners to wait until age 70. A cumulative $400,000 reduction. So we want to consider, you have a pension. Not many folks have them any longer, but many people do. Your pension will be part of the system. Your IRAs, your 401ks, your other savings, your TSAs, whatever you have, anticipate, plan your RMDs, your required minimum distributions at age 73. Super important. Your investment portfolio, your money outside of IRAs. Are you going to work? You're going to earn any money doing anything? Income benefits, other real estate income, and so on. They all go into the system. It's all into the decision. So if you went to Social Security Administration and asked them some questions, what they can do is they can give you an estimate of your benefits. That's what they will do. They will not extrapolate out even cost of living. They're not going to tell you what spousal benefits work and how they work. They're not going to talk about some divorce spouse, widow spouse benefits. They're not going to talk about those strategies. They're just going to give you the numbers. They can't project future benefits, including the cost of living. They can't do scenario planning. You can wait to this, you can wait to this age or whatever. Let's take a look at that. What if you work? What if you don't work? What if you take some money from here rather than delay Social Security? We want to look at all those options. We want to help you innovate strategies and design the plan to meet your needs, your lifestyle, not everybody. It's not a general answer. General answer is everybody should just wait until age 67. That's just a baseline. Some people should take it early and some people should wait. And I always hear the story, I laugh. Somebody says, well, I'm going to take it early because I can get hit by a bus. I said, that's right. Healthy people say that all the time, and I get it. You can die the next hour. And I say, but if you wait until age 67 to collect benefits, you're higher, you can still earnings and so on and not reduce your benefits. And but I can still get hit by a bus. And that's true. But I don't think anybody's going to step off a curb, texting on their phone, and all of a sudden, oh, we grab a bus again. And think about, I chose the wrong Social Security benefit. Doesn't matter. You get hit by a bus at age 70 or 62, it doesn't matter. We want to make sure that you receive the most benefit in your enjoyable life expectancy and years after. That's really what we're here for. So if you have any questions, like when should I apply for Social Security? What if I keep on working? Very important, very big in today's world. What if I've already applied? What can I do? Well, you can suspend your benefits, believe it or not. You can even withdraw your application, act like it never went in. You have to pay it back though, your benefits. How much will my benefits be? Very important, depending on your earnings history. And keep in mind, if you thought you're going to retire at age 62, you do, and you continue to work a little bit, even if you're not making a full salary, keep in mind, we're trying to replace possibly the 35th lowest income on that chart of the highest 35 years. It may not need a high income to replace those dollars, which will increase your benefits even higher. You're adding to the system and you're increasing your benefits. How can I coordinate my spousal benefits? That's a very important question. We'll look at what your spouse's benefits are, their age, and your benefits. What's the best long-term care, long-term situation or strategy for me? I'm different than anybody else, and we want to make it work for you out there. What do I do next? Well, the first thing you do is try to get your benefits and contact somebody that knows and to guide you through these choices. Just Social Security is just too important for guesswork. I thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Give me a call. My phone number is in the beginning of the slide, or email me. I appreciate that, and we'll talk soon. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.